All right, we got some more calls in. Let's just go straight for
go
it.
hit 'em.
Barbara, line 1, thanks for calling in. What's your question tonight?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure how to ask this. I have a granddaughter and grandson that their father was murdered 12 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
And thank you. And they had received some money from, I don't know where they get money when someone's murdered, they get money.
That's right. It's called the Criminal Compensation Act.
Okay.
Tennessee has
That's
that.
what it is. Well, my granddaughter has turned 18, and she's been wanting to get hold of her money, but her mother won't let her.
Wow. Well, here's the real world. She can go get a lawyer. She's 18, and she can petition the court and have that money turned over to her. You know, we get into these conversations all the time about people and their children, and sometimes the children are not making the best choices at 18. But the truth of the matter, if they haven't set it up in a trust that would limit all that, that guy's probably going to get their money, and a lawyer will charge a fee, draw the petition, go to the judge, he'll order it, and of course the judge, as part of that, would order the lawyer's fee, so he'll get paid and move on. It's a great opportunity to think about. If you have some that you're not really feeling all that good about, consider doing a little trust and set it up where they'll pay so much at 18, so much at 25, and the balance when they're 30. And that kind of holds them and lets them kind of mature and make some good decisions, because it would make me roll over in the grave if you turned it all over and then they just blew it, and it would be sad for them and sad for the whole family.
All right, line 2, we have Trina now. Hi, Trina.
Hello.
Hi, what can we do for you, Trina?
Well, my divorce was final in May of this year, and the way that it was signed was I agreed that I would take on all the debt, and my husband wouldn't have to pay for any of it. But is there any way that I could change that, because we accrued the debt together?
Okay. Well, here's what goes on. When you sign that marital dissolution agreement, they kind of hold you to it. Now, if you'd have never signed that document, it would have been made really good sense that your husband would have been required to pay his half, or he might have even had to pay more than half. But so many times people say, Kevin, I don't care about the money. Get my divorce. I'll sign this. And so in kind of a rush moment, and the lawyer, you see, they can represent you, but they still have to do what you say. I might say, this is not in your best interest, I don't like this, but you are the boss, and if you say draw the papers and sign them, then we have an ethical obligation to do what you tell us to do.
All right, Laura on line 3. Hi, Laura, what's your question tonight?
Hello. I am 57, and I do not have a spouse. But and I really don't want to do a will, but I would like to have my sisters know what I would like to do in case something happens when I die.
Okay.
So if I do a letter and leave it with them, saying exactly everything I want done when I die, is that as good as a will?
Okay. The answer to that is no, because somewhere down the road, if you were killed in a car wreck by a big tractor trailer truck and all of a sudden your estate got $10 million, well, do you know what happens when people have $10 million? Everybody under the sun's going to come out and say, hey, well, what about this will? What about this? Well, this is a handwritten letter. No, it won't work. So I understand a lot of people don't want to spend $50 or $75, but it's bigger than that, because the will has to be executed properly or it's of no benefit. And so many times people get hurt and they're not able to do a will. So what I like to say, the early bird gets the worm. Take a proactive approach. Your sisters will be happier. There won't be any dispute. Some of the biggest agonies I've ever seen a family experience, and we've done it many times, where one sister sues a sister. You say, please, no. A brother sues a sister. Mom and Daddy would roll over in the grave because they worked their whole life to get this, and now the children are fighting over an inheritance. So I'd still say that will is the best investment. You'll sleep good. Everybody will love you, and they'll love you from now on.
Great advice. All right, we have John now. Hi, John. What's your question? See if he can.
Is this my turn?
Yes, John. Hi.
Yes, my name is John Cutner, and my mother died in 2008. She had a reverse mortgage. Now, I was still in the house. They sent me a letter saying 20 days to leave. So I decided to lock up the place, leave all the furniture, and burn the house back over to them. Now, the reverse mortgage was $57,000 something. I didn't have the money, and the loan officer couldn't help me. I didn't have a job. So I just took the money I had in my bank account and left. Now, there's me on the reverse mortgage, my sister and another sister. Is there anything they can do to make me pay? There wasn't.
Well, first off,
I ignored the will also.
Okay. Yeah, you have to be very sensitive. I don't know what the document actually says. If they had you co-sign on those notes, you know, they make you co-sign because they expect you to pay it, and they're going to hold you responsible, and there's great odds that they're going to sue you. However, if the property, when they took it back, had more than enough equity to operate, they may let that one go. So it's a bunch of gray areas. I would find that the original document, go see a lawyer and try to talk. I thought what you were going to say is we'd like to get that property back, all the furniture and whatnot. But usually they will have considered that you abandoned that property when you left, and they would dispose of it accordingly. So get the document, go over a lawyer, and just see what their odds are. Sometimes, you know, it's best to leave a sleeping dog lie. You stir it up, and they'll say, hey, guess what? We didn't even think about that. It's been laying over there for 10 years. Now here they come. All right. And then let them look at that statute of limitations, and you might have gotten away.
All right. Appreciate all these calls coming in. Lots of great questions tonight.
It has been.
So let's
you know, these statute of limitations, too, they're different ones, different all kinds. We have a 1-year statute of limitations in Tennessee over a personal injury, a 3-year statute of limitations over property damage. That's like Casey running into my car out here. Never. And then we have a 6-year statute of limitations with contracts. So if we entered into a contract, you could go up to 6 years before you even brought the lawsuit. And Casey could say, well, I didn't have any money. And then Casey gets a really good job. And I said, wow, that's a good time to make a claim against Casey.
That's right.
Casey said, no.
Coming after Casey.
Please put that down. I'm defending you, Casey.
On that note, I'm taking another caller. What's your question for us tonight? Thanks for calling in. Is it Tanner or Taylor? Tara. Tara on line 1. Can you hear us, Tara?
Tara?
Yes,
hey,
go ahead.
What's your question for us tonight?
Okay, so just, I have a friend who he was charged with a crime that he didn't commit. Okay. And he's having a horrible time trying to find a lawyer that'll represent him. And he's got a bunch of evidence that, like, he accrued and put together from the discovery. Yes. And the what's it called? The lawyer that he got.
A court-appointed lawyer?
Yes. Okay. Not lawyer. I'm sorry. I'm not a
public defender.
The court-appointed lawyer apparently just wants to get this over with and doesn't even want to look at all the evidence and just wants them to plead guilty or something. And the guy's not literally was not even in the area when the crime was committed. And what can this person do to find the help that he needs? Okay. Interesting question.
Yeah, well, you know, as a general rule, the public defenders are very skilled. They do nothing but criminal law. It's true. They are overworked. They may have hundreds of cases. And sometimes people say, well, I didn't get to spend enough time. That's why we have the private bar. You remember the people say the richest people hire the best lawyers. They hire the best accountants. And so, yes, it's a problem because you need to hire a lawyer. Do you make it a priority, or do you kind of go along and say, hey, there's no way I can do it. I'm going to get a court-appointed lawyer. And, you know, they always say, I don't have anything negative to say about the public defenders. They are great friends, but I hear you loud and clear. And in that circumstance, I would get some family members. I would try to get someone to help me raise some money and go hire a lawyer. If the chemistry breaks down, communication breaks down between the client and the lawyer, there's time to make a change. And if you don't, this guy could end up in the penitentiary if you're charged with a felony.
Interesting call. That was a great question. Do we have a few more calls coming in right now? Again, that number, it's right there on your screen. What I love about this show, it's called Open Line Ask the Attorney. And
Open to anyone.
You don't have to be a legal expert to ask these questions. We hear folks apologizing. They don't know the exact terminology.
Yes.
But that's your job, not theirs.
That's the real world, because we live in a real world. We have real problems, and we give you real solutions.
That's right. Well, we're happy to hear any questions you may have. We are going to go ahead and pause for just a quick break, but we'll be right back. Keep it right here on News Channel 5 Plus.
Thank you.